Hello. So I tried to record this video a second ago, but it wasn't recording because I'm terrible at filming things. So I'm going to try again. I'm Danielle. This is my channel, Next Page Adventure. I wanted to upload a top 5 books of 2018. I know I'm a little late, but are you serious? Hey Google, be quiet. Sorry about that. So, I don't have a lot of books to choose from because I didn't read a lot last year, but I did narrow it down to 5, so it's not a very long list, but I feel like there are some pretty good books on here. I have 4 5-star books and 1 4-star book. So I'm just gonna get to it. My first book is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This one I gave 4 stars. This book it just kind of had this feeling of like a Disney movie for adults. And that's really why I enjoyed it. It had this really flowery magic system that was just, you didn't want to take too seriously the whole time, because that's why I kind of feel like it was like a dark Disney movie. And then there was this dark woods, dark forest type vibe going on. And the author did an amazing job at the description of the scenery in this, especially the scenes that she wrote in this. I don't want to give too much away, but it was just this corrupted, dark, bleeding type forest. It was just, I don't know, I thought it was really nice. I really liked that idea. And then, and it surprised me because the first chapter I read it and I'm like, meh. The author's writing style is kind of hard to get into at first, but then as you go on, it's pretty easy to read. It's just different than what I'm used to. But the main character is named Agnieszka, I think that's how you pronounce it. So every year, the dragon, which is this magician basically that lives in a tower, well, spoiler alert, but he picks a girl every year. Or no, it's every 12 years, 10 years. Every 10 years they have to give up one of their young women to this dragon. And I don't really want to give this plot points away, but she gets chosen even though she doesn't think she's going to be the one. The reason I didn't give this book 5 stars is because the middle of the book was really boring. It started out really good, and then the scene, I feel like there wasn't enough time for the author to develop the entire world. So I feel like she shouldn't have the main character leaves the main setting to go to another area. And I just felt like this was too short of a book to do something like that. To change scenery so quickly. I don't know. I didn't like it, and it got kind of boring. So a bit of a love story in this book too that I kind of had a love-hate relationship with. I liked it, but it wasn't developed enough, and the book was too short to really ever change that. So I started to like it, but it was just not enough, you know? You know those stories where they're kind of love to hate, but not really. Hate to love, I mean. But this goes kind of like the main character's an asshole. No, sorry. This one's kind of like the love interest is a jerk. And he never really stops being a jerk, but then she bangs him. Okay, whatever. And then I don't know. I have issues with this book, but I really did love it, and I will read more from this author. I do want to read Spinning Silver, which I don't think is in the same world, but it's another standalone fantasy. So yeah. I love the cover of this book too. It's so pretty. So yeah, that was my number 4. No, my number 5. Yeah, 4-star. My first 5-star, I don't have an actual copy of it, so I'm going to put it over here on my white wall. Is, I think, Magic Slays in the Kate Daniel series. No, it's the one before that. I think it's the one before Magic Slays. I don't know. They're all called Magic something, and this one's like the 5th. So I love the whole series though as a whole. It's called the Kate Daniel series. It's Like, it starts with a book called Magic Bites. And basically what it is a world, it's an urban fantasy with a female lead who you don't like, the whole world is kind of at war with, like, for a while there'll be magic up, and it's like, and then the magic will fall and the tech will come up. So it's like back and forth, tech, magic, and then while the magic up, it's kind of corrosive and it's eating away at the skyscrapers, and it's, I don't know, I love the world that she created, and she kind of just throws you in right into the action without a lot of backstory in the first book, but also takes a lot of things that you might be familiar with, but twists them and makes them unique to their own. Like, the author is actually two people, Alana Andrews, which is a husband and wife duo. So if you are interested in urban fantasy with a lot of action and a lot of stuff you probably haven't seen before, I definitely recommend the Kate Daniel series, starting with Magic Bites. I just realized there are a bunch of novellas in between all these books I've been reading, so I need to go read those. But I'm in the middle of Magic Slaves, which is like the 5th book, I think. So yeah, that would be Magic Bleeds. That one was awesome. That was one of the first books I read this year. They're just nonstop action, fun. What's going to happen next? Like, there's just such crazy ideas in these books. They come up with some over-the-top stuff. But yeah, so that was my number 4. My number 3 is right here. Nope, that's the wrong book. One moment. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Is it upside down? Yes. That's right. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is on a lot of people's lists. Like, a lot of people seem to like these books a lot. I only read the first one so far, and I've started. That's what I was going to show you. I was going to accidentally hold up the second book, but I just started that one. I'm only like 4 or 5 chapters into that one, but this one is really good. It's so fast paced. You don't get bored. Like, I didn't get bored at all. Like, I loved it. And the chapters are really short, and there's always something interesting happening each little short chapter. So the author's really good at not giving you time to get bored. So this is about Kel. K-L. I think they said his name is pronounced K-L in the book, but everyone calls him Kel. So I'm just going to call him Kel. So Kel is an Antares. Yeah, he has the ability to travel in between these parallel Londons. So there's Black London, White London, Grey London, and Red London. So there's a Grey London that I'm thinking it's kind of like our London, and then but in an older time. And then there's Red London, which is full of magic. And then there's White London that's being eaten away or something by magic, and then Black London, which has been completely destroyed by magic. So there's all these different Londons that he can travel between, and he's one of the only ones that can do this. And there's another character named Lila Bard. She's kind of like a wannabe pirate. She doesn't take a lot seriously. She kind of doesn't think before her actions sometimes, which I'm noticing she has the same habit in the second book already, which I don't know. I think I like her, but she does things that kind of irritate me sometimes. But yeah, so these books are great. I love the writing. It's so easy to read. This is my first introduction to her as well, V.E. Schwab. So I can't wait to finish the next one. I think it's going to be just as fast and just as a quick read, if even faster than A Darker Shade of Magic for me. So I'm excited for that. And then my number 2 is something a little different. That would be Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. This book is a very dark, I don't know if you call it grimdark fantasy, I'm not sure, but it's about a young prince named Jorg who is out for revenge. It's one of those books where there's really no good guys, so you have to be willing to read about a character that you're probably not going to like, and that's kind of what this book taught me to do. Like, when I first read the first like 5 or 10 pages, I was like, what am I reading? Like, this guy is horrible. But as it goes on, it taught me that I could read a book about a character, that I don't like, but still want to hear their story, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's one of those books that you'd be kind of scared to recommend to anybody because there's a lot of violence. It's not, there's not a lot of description in the violence, but the whole book is about this one character who's an evil little asshole, basically. But you still, there's like twists and turns, and you get to really get addicted to reading about what's going to happen to him next. And it has a little bit of, I don't want to give it away, I don't think it's in the back of the book. It's really not, so I don't want to say. There's something that I really like about it that I can't, that's not fair, but it doesn't happen until like the middle of the book, so I don't want to say. It's kind of a topic that I like in fantasy that you don't see very often, and I'm reading the second one right now. I'm reading King of Thorns, which is a little slower, but I'm still enjoying it. I just think it's not as fast-paced as Prince of Thorns was, which is also, I think it's kind of like a thing for me now. I like authors that are writing these like really short, sometimes like incredibly short, like 2-3 pages chapters that have something super, I don't know, interesting happen in all of them, to where you're forced to keep turning. You feel like you have all this progress because the chapter was so short. But I don't know if that's just me, but it's something that I've looked for in the books that I actually read, like the audio books. I don't care, but for books that I physically own, lately I've been looking for books with shorter chapters, just because I realized how quickly I get through them compared to books with like 40-page chapters. And last but not least, my number one, and the way that I judge these is like books that really kept my attention or made me think or just gave me some sort of emotional reaction. And then the next series is actually 2 books, which is a young adult, Scythe and Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. I don't have physical copies because I listened to them on Audible, but I'll put them over here. So everyone has pretty much heard about Scythe and Thunderhead, so I won't say too much, but it takes place in the future of Earth, where we've pretty much conquered death. We don't die of old age, and if we do get old, we can choose to go back to whatever age we want to, and if we do die on accident, we could be revived. And the only way to control the population is with the group of scythes, can't say that word. And that's what the story's about. It's about these two apprentice scythes that get chosen, and you get to find out all the politics of the world. And the author is amazing at like twists and turns and action. I mean, it's like, what's gonna happen next? Like, Scythe was great, but I think Thunderhead was probably even better, even though parts of it were a little slower. It was kind of like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Like, and the ending was just phenomenal. It was just like one of the best endings that and it's sad because the 3rd book's not out yet, so we have to wait. But if you really want, it's kind of like a dystopian, but it's not terrible. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I really, really recommend these 2 books because not only are they super fun reads, they do make you think, like, they're like, wow, what if, because like the Thunderhead is like, basically, he describes it as an evolved version of the Cloud, and it kind of pretty much takes care of humanity, of all their needs and everything like that. So it's a vision of the future that's like, what if, like, what would we do if we cured death and we needed to be able to control the population, like, what would happen? It's just, I don't know. I love these books, and I think that they are fantastic. So, yeah, that was my top 5 of 2018. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.